On behalf of the Honor Awards Committee in AIA Seattle, welcome to the 2022 Honor Awards for Washington Architecture. Woo! I'm Catherine de Almeida, Assistant Professor of Landscape Architecture at the University of Washington, and I am one of the co-chairs of the AIA Seattle Honor Awards Committee. I am joined by my fellow co-chair, Gladys Liao Young, founding partner of Sundberg Kennedy Liao Young Architects. It's so wonderful to see so many of you in person, and hello to those of you who are joining us via live stream. This is a gentle reminder to those of you who are with us here at Town Hall to please wear your mask and help us demonstrate community care. We hope you enjoyed mingling before the show, and we'd love to thank DJ Evie for her set to usher us in this evening. Can we give a round of applause for DJ Evie? Woo! A lot of great energy. So before we begin, let us acknowledge that we live and work on the unceded lands of the Coast Salish peoples, the lands which touch the shared waters of all tribes and bands within the Duwamish, Suquamish, Tulalip, and Muckleshoot nations, who still live and steward these lands. Acknowledgement is one small step towards resisting the erasure of Indigenous histories and working towards honoring and inviting the truth. As we envision a culture of design that fosters equitable, resilient, and thriving communities, we recognize that we are guests on these lands and are seeking to become better stewards and collaborators.
Catherine and I are so honored to be here this evening as co-chairs of the 2022 Honor Awards. So while this has been a year to reconnect, it has also been a time for reflection and action. In King County, we have declared crises in behavioral health, housing affordability, and homelessness. Adding to these are evolving public health crises, continued critical reckonings with systemic racism, and rapidly changing climate emergency, and they are all intrinsically linked. Yet we remain optimistic in the innovations design can contribute and believe in AIA Seattle vision for a culture of design that foster equitable, resilient, and thriving communities. But it is this theme of critical reflexivity and action that we brought forward for this year's focus in our co-chair letter, which came out of early conversations with the Honor Awards Committee. These themes describe an ability to adapt and build more equitable and just futures. Throughout the deliberation processes, we heard the jury refer to and connect these themes to the projects they reviewed. And we will continue to visit these ideas this evening.
Tonight, we are going to balance celebrating your exciting project submissions and the awardees, and engaging in critical dialogue towards action. When the Honor Awards Committee started planning this event over 9 months ago, we weren't sure how things would shake out. Would it be in person? Would it be virtual? But hey, we're doing both again. And the committee had to be flexible and make early decisions, not knowing the state of the world and how things would shake out during these challenging and changing times. Safety was on our minds, along with bringing everyone together to celebrate. And so for the first time since 2019, all 3 jurors and our moderator will be joining us tonight to share their reflections and announce this year's awarded projects.
The practice of architecture in our region enjoys a well-established legacy of curiosity, creativity, and a drive for design excellence. We are here to celebrate not only the end product of design, but the people, the stories, and the influences behind it. It is important to recognize the collective force that is necessary to build this community of care. The Honor Award is a platform to recognize the full body and the very best of our collective design work.
To frame the evaluation goals from our region, AIA Seattle has carefully crafted a set of considerations that we believe define a foundation for design excellence and address important issues in our community. The jury then thoughtfully weighs these considerations with their own personal and collective criteria, informing their deliberation and decision-making process. This year, we had 100 submissions across a broad range of scales, typologies, and environments. They were categorized into 3 groups: built work, conceptual projects, and research and innovation.
The jury evaluated submissions, and the award selections were assigned to these award categories. And they are Honorable Mention, Award of Merit, Energy and Design Award, and Award of Honor.
For the 7th year in a row, we have the Energy and Design Award, which recognizes projects for design excellence and meeting the ambitious 2030 challenge. But energy is only part of the story. In partnership with the University of Washington Integrated Design Lab, we have again incorporated the AIA Common App for design excellence, which requires all submissions to demonstrate measurable impact in 10 categories of sustainable design. And in its 5th year, we're excited to engage, encourage, and elevate the voices of young architects and designers who influence the future of design in our region. The Young Voices selection panel includes 3 emerging professionals nominated by firm leaders and selected by the Honor Awards Committee. They have reviewed, deliberated, and selected one built project for recognition.
To bring you this Honor Awards program, a dedicated committee of volunteers have invested countless hours over the past 9 months. This program could not happen without the resilience and dedication of our Honor Awards Committee. I want to thank all of them here. So thank you to Alex, Andy, Carol, Chris, Cody, Ed, Hillary R, Hillary S, Kaylin, Kevin, Mackenzie, Ming, CU, Susan, Tim, Tom, and Wyatt. So please, can we all thank them?
We'd also like to recognize the efforts of the staff at our AIA chapter. We are truly fortunate to have such a talented and dedicated team. And a very, very special thank you to Zoe Guggenheimer. As the AIA Seattle program manager, she has helped guide the Honor Awards Committee to stay on track and organized throughout this process. Her support, dedication, and impeccable organization are truly exceptional. Woo! And also, it's her birthday tomorrow, so please wish her happy birthday. We'd also like to thank our amazingly talented and insightful jury, Billy Faircloth, Ghazal Khezri, and Kimberly Garza, for generously donating their valuable time. Their contributions reflect the passion that our community has for design excellence. We are very grateful to have had their diverse backgrounds, experiences, and perspectives represented on the jury. Tonight, We are looking forward to their insights.
Finally, we want to thank the Seattle Design community, and we are all here to celebrate all of you.
And now, on to the reveal of this year's awarded projects, starting with an introduction to our moderator, Ken Tadashi Oshima. Ken is a colleague of mine and is a professor in the Department of Architecture at the University of Washington. He has supported the jury throughout their deliberations process and will be moderating tonight's program, including rich discussion on stage with the jury before they collectively announce this year's award winners. Please join us in welcoming Ken to the stage.
Thank you, Catherine and Gladys. As you walked in the hall, you might have seen the surveying of buildings and how really rich this time has been with the jurors, and that being the tip of the iceberg of how much this process has been in really examining and celebrating the great work in the region. And so I am delighted to moderate tonight and help stimulate this discussion that has been ongoing throughout the weekend. And so with that, I would like to invite our jurors to the stage, starting with Billy Faircloth from Kieran Timberlake. So Billy is a designer who has transformed practice-based research and earned a national and international reputation for demonstrating its value, methods, and outcomes. As a partner and research director of the Philadelphia-based architectural practice Kieran Timberlake, Billy leads the firm's research group, a transdisciplinary team recognized for applying research, design, and problem-solving processes from fields as diverse as environmental management, industrial ecology, chemical physics, material science, and sculpture. Architectural Records selected her as its 2017 Women in Architecture Innovator Award winner. And Billy is an adjunct professor at the University of Pennsylvania, as well as here with the AIA, the chair of the Committee on the Environment. I also would like to invite Ghazal Khezri. She is Prince Director of LOHA, Lorcan O'Harley Architects, and project lead for a number of projects, most notably 3434 Wesley, Esri Campus Center, and Sam D. Simon Center for Dance. Her contributions span a variety of project types, including affordable housing and residential projects to museums and education. She sees architecture as a way of strengthening communities and give character to neighborhoods, as well as a vehicle for expressing an organization's culture while establishing new cultures. Last and not least, Kimberly Garza, who is a landscape architect, artist in placemaking, tactical urbanism, and educator. She is the founder and principal of Atlas Lab, the mission-driven landscape architecture, community development, and public art studio based in Sacramento, California. She is a landscape architect, as I mentioned, and was named 40 Under 40 Urban Innovator and frequently serves as a design juror on national and academic juries, lectures on placemaking and socially conscious design. So with that, I will join our distinguished jury.
You ready?
It's been a marathon, I have to say, and in addition to our early stage of looking at projects online through Zoom, coming this weekend, having visits as well as re-examining projects, it's really been, I think, a stimulating and challenging experience. But with that, I wonder if you could just share, to begin with the jury, a little bit of your firsthand reflections and impressions on the design work you have seen in our region, and perhaps kind of general impression of our professional community here that is coming from your own perspective, whether it be from Philadelphia or Los Angeles or Sacramento. Who wants to start?
Yeah, I'll start. I've been blown away with how engaged this community is, how vibrant it is, and how large. So it's incredible to see how many faces out there tonight. We reviewed 100 submissions, and I was struck by a number of things. I was struck by the incredible high quality design in the submissions and how they varied in scale and project type. I was also struck by the amount of projects that really had embedded sustainability measures into the projects, and then also the amount of complex projects with lengthy project timelines, limited budgets, multiple stakeholders, clients to keep happy, and how the architects managed and facilitated the design process. Very enlightening.
Well, first I want to say Philly says hello. and just have what deep respect Philadelphia architects have for Seattle architects. And so I just want to put that out there first. But more importantly, when I looked across your body of work, it was just such a deep pleasure to be able to see such a committed community to design. And I think what impressed me the most was, maybe along with the same challenges that we're facing in Philadelphia, you too are questioning what the core of architecture is and really expanding the boundary around design, really challenging us all to engage in questions of equity, in questions of climate action, in questions of homelessness, in questions of access. There is so much boundary spanning going on in this community. We were able to see that in your submissions, but we were also able to then have incredibly robust conversations around that in fact began to shape a lot of our discussions over the last several weeks, if not over the last several days. So I think there's just incredible exemplary work in many of these challenge areas coming from this community, and I just take it as such an encouragement for what we can accomplish together.
Yeah, I was so impressed with number of projects that they were community driven, and also the commitment to provide design to all people in the society and kind of tackling issues of housing, which is very similar to what we deal with in Los Angeles. And it was very impressive to see that element of care manifesting itself into the design of all these projects. And one thing that I really enjoyed also was to see these developed and underdeveloped aspect kind of coexisting, kind of meaning that there were projects that obviously very little budgets, but they still manifested themselves in a way that was very meaningful for the community, and you could just feel the care. And that was very impressive, again, to see the number of projects that they were addressing these issues of housing.
Yeah, could I also add, one of the other things that was always also in the back of our minds was that many of the projects we saw were completed just within, many months or just within the last several months. But we also recognize that you're doing a lot of this work under enormous financial and economic change and challenges. And that was absolutely in the back of our mind as we began looking at all of the mission and vision-driven work that you've accomplished.
Yeah.
Well, in facing these challenges, I wonder if you could speak a little bit about what role you think awards play in this context, in these challenging times, and how that can affect.
I don't know. Awards. Like, we're here to celebrate, yeah?
Yeah, let's
Right?
celebrate.
I mean, we're here to celebrate, but also, as I think, as we've been hinting, your work is challenging us as well. So, these awards that these projects that we're about to review, they really are exemplars, and they will elevate. They do elevate conversation, and so I think awards right now, today, are playing that role of elevating exemplars in new and emerging vocabulary, new and emerging design strategies, new and emerging tactics, new and emerging ways of instantiating what we mean by equity by design or inclusion by design. There's a whole range of things that we're seeing, and I do believe that awards actually open up discourse and really help us to see a way forward together.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think architecture, it's such a significant contribution to our everyday experience and to humanity at large, and it's an opportunity to create a platform. Like tonight, we can sit together and talk about what is so important and what is the need, like right now, that architecture can respond to. And it was a really nice opportunity to kind of, over the last few days and few weekends, to go together and discuss what is the need, like right now at this moment, and what are the architects challenged, and what are they advocating for?
So to ground these challenging problems, there are the 4 primary criteria of inspiration, problem solving, social impact, and environmental sensitivity. And so I wonder also, in hearing these and looking at the projects, how that resonated with you, or further thoughts on what that might mean in this conversation and consideration.
I think as a jury, we really came together and we were very interested in process, in outcomes, and really going beyond a diagram, beyond the plan view, beyond the section, and really wanting to understand and really, I will say, we really dedicated ourselves to really trying to understand the impact of a project, both socially and ecologically, on multiple levels. And I think that was really our grounding as we looked at this criteria.
Yeah, so the criteria that was listed previously asks some really incredible questions, and I think it's important for you all to know that we took that criteria very seriously. And so for instance, inspiration is one of the criteria, but the question it asks is, how does the project manifest its stated intent in form and function, revealing innovation in thought and practice? Or for instance, social impact. How does the project enhance the community that it's situated in? And how does it help promote a vibrant and equitable community? So in addition to outcomes, when we think about outcomes, we were also talking about value creation. Who are projects for? What do they accomplish? What kind of value do they create now? And what kind of value might they create going forward? We found ourselves having those kinds of discussions over your projects, really rich and vibrant discussion.
I also thought it was really interesting, kind of echoing on that conversation, looking closely, and that was very challenging to make sure that the intention of all the process was manifesting itself into the design. And kind of understanding that conscious effort that architects are operating within layers of contextual and political and social issues. How were they able to kind of manifest all these things into an architecture that is responding to its original intent?
So in weaving these criteria together and thinking about the honor awards, it does beg the question of, how do you define design excellence? Obviously challenging, but what distinguished and elevated projects for awards in your mind? And so I don't know if you have further thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think design excellence is rooted in a deep listening of place and people. And I know when we initially met as a jury, we were asked this question, and I think it really has pushed us to really evaluate this work within that lens. And we really were interested in looking at a project that, at a process too, with the project in terms of design excellence, of looking at a project that didn't have it figured out from the get-go, that didn't have the gesture figured out, it didn't have the solution in mind, and that really revealed itself through deep listening.
Yeah, so there's, well, I think we're all aware that we're participating in a moment where we're radically renovating the definition of design excellence, I think that's what we're doing. So, I mean, everyone, how many of you are familiar with the Framework for Design Excellence, AIA Framework for Design Excellence? I see some hands up. We're having this conversation. What is the definition of design excellence now? I really believe that these projects are helping us answer that question, because we're beginning to see projects that address a whole range of expanded issues and expanded definitions of design excellence.
I think one thing also that it was kind of apparent in our discussion was architecture that is conceived to last, and it has a capacity to adapt, and kind of combining the beauty and sustainability at the same time. And I'm believing in the fact that design, good design, is by nature sustainable, and it's good, and it's a good use of its resources.
Well, I think we're ready to start with our honorable mentions.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it.
A lot of surprises.
Let's go. Are you handing it over to us now?
I am.
Oh.
And so, drum roll.
There's no drum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Our first
Honorable
ready?
mention.
We're going to start with honorable
Let's
mention.
begin
Okay.
with our first project.
The first honorable mention goes to Juanita Beach Park Bathhouse by EHDD Architects. This project is a collection of bathhouses and picnic pavilions in a public park. We love the exceptional precision and attention to architectural details, and we admire the fact that it found its way throughout the site.
The project disrupts traditional design standards used for public amenity buildings with careful attention to details and material selection.
Yeah, and in these pavilions, they really do elevate a simple public program through functional, efficient programming and exquisite detailing and execution.
Yeah, if you visit, make sure you walk around and pick through every single corner because the details are fantastic.
All right, our next honorable mention goes to Bird Bar Place. SHKS Architects. Yeah. So the jury commends Bird Bar Place design team and client for sensitivity to adapting and restoring a 1908 fire station. Your project really does affirm the value of caring for existing buildings and prioritizing community resources through design and with dignity.
We appreciated the building's programming designed to support community gathering through outward extension of its first floor spaces and materials exposed to divide and curate spaces, new uses.
Are the teams here? Are they,
Yeah.
are they here? Where are they? Where are they? All right.
Right. The next honor mention goes to Alma Clark Glass Hall by Malum Architects. The project demonstrates a commitment to center accessibility, equity, diversity, and inclusion in the campus development for an inclusive residential community where all abilities and identities are honored and welcomed. The jury was impressed with the architect's ability to develop a shared journey, an accessible and spatial organizing route that connects two areas of campus separated by significant grade. The configuration of the proposed buildings support a series of programs that unfold as one moves through the space.
So when we discussed this project, we found ourselves really applauding this team for demonstrating the importance and the power of inclusive engagement, and for demonstrating how to co-create goals, how to work together to instantiate all of this through design. So this project does fully realize a shared, accessible journey for this community.
The honorable mention awards. So now we're going to pause a moment to have some announcements and invite a representative from AIA Seattle's Board of Directors on stage to share a few quick announcements on behalf of AIA Seattle. Please join me in welcoming Pepe Valle to the stage.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. I hope you're having fun. My name is Pepe Valle, and I'm representing the AIA Seattle and the Seattle Design Festival Board Directors. Thank you for all of you for joining us on the 72nd Annual Honor Awards for Washington Architecture. We have already seen some incredible projects receive honorable mentions awards, and there are more to come. Thank you for your patience as I share a few notes from the board and recognize incredible partners and collaborators who help us bring the honor awards to life. In changing times, it's all the more important to recognize and celebrate the achievements of our colleagues to remind us of the central role architects play in creating and sustaining a better built environment. As evidenced by our collective body of work showing in 100 submissions, our corner of the world is continuing to lead by example with our high quality and thoughtful designs. We're truly designing a better built environment for our clients, residents, employees, students, travelers, and the broader community and region. We have aligned building, spaces, and concepts with our organization's mission, vision, and values, and continue to overlay the commitments of our strategic imperatives around justice, equity, diversity, inclusion, housing, and climate in our work. I'm excited so many of us are able to gather here tonight and celebrate together and accommodate those who could not attend in person with our live stream event. We continue to experiment with new ways of coming together, share ideas, and learn from one another in the AIA Seattle and STF programs. Tonight, we celebrate outstanding architecture, and we also honor the partnerships that make this work possible. We partner internally within our practices, bringing together people with diversity of lived experiences and expertise. We partner together with our community and our clients and the many integrated disciplines and trade partners needed to create these successful projects. Many of you are here us tonight as sponsors of this event, and many sponsors have contributed to the success of the Honor Awards through the years. Our celebration tonight is possible because of this support, and we're extremely grateful. Everyone, please join me in thanking our sponsors with applause at the end of this list. For gold sponsors, Better Bricks, Powerful Energy Ideas delivered by NEEA, an annual support of energy in design award. Dovetail, elevating craft and craftspeople, and thank you for hosting our jurors and presenters. Silver sponsors, ARUP, Burger Partnership, Coughlin Porter Lundin, Fremont Brewery, FSI Engineers, Homes Structures, Inform Interiors, Colby Gallery Seattle, KPFF Consulting Engineers, Lane Powell, Magnuson Clemensic Associates, Malsum Sang Structural Engineering, PCS Structural Solutions, Quantum Consulting Engineers, Sasan Group, Schuchard, Schultz Miller, and Swenson Safejet. And thank you, our media sponsor, Gray. I would also like to recognize and extend a big thank you to all the staff. This is a team of incredible, talented, and hardworking individuals who have kept this organization moving through many challenges. Andrea, Annalie, Anthony, Bray, David, Melissa, and Zoe, thank you for all and for everything that you do. I would also like to once again thank the Honors Award Committee, including co-chairs Gladys and Catherine, who have worked incredibly hard to make this evening successful. Thank you. And finally, save the date for AIA Seattle's Individual Award Program Part T, which recognizes individual leadership and achievement in design and the built environment at the local and national level. Honorees are nominated by their peers and selected by the Fellows and Honors Committee each spring to acknowledge excellence and strengthen ties between architects and the many professions that partner with them to make a difference through design. This program also celebrates newly licensed architects. So we hope to join us on December 12th, right here downstairs in Town Hall Seattle Forum. We'll be honoring these 9 amazing awardees and continue the celebration of design. So now it's my pleasure to introduce this year's Young Voices, who will discuss the deliberation process and announce the one build project they have awarded as this year's Young Voices selection. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Alisa Mitchell, Mariel Duguid, and Nikki Sugihara. Thank you.
Welcome, Young Voices, and you have a very important role here, and I would, we lost our light, welcome you to the podium to announce your award.
And the award goes to Living Watershed. What stood out most for me about this project was the approach to regenerative design. This office building gives back to the community by providing a civic service that it is not obligated to do. The architects demonstrate the ability of a project to improve the climate through the capturing, cleaning, and reusing of the polluted water runoff from the Aurora Bridge above. The architects designed the building to celebrate the natural water cycle through visibly showcasing their rainwater catchment system along the facade, and in addition, they opened the interior lobby to the sky and rain above. The Young Voices jury was inspired by this project, and we see this building as a role model for the future of architecture.
We believe that this project does a great job addressing the public ground level by taking the otherwise single functioning sidewalk and making a place for people to pause and gather. Native plantings soften the street edge and gently guide people along the sidewalk. Educational placards engage the community through the story of the building And with its proximity to Fremont and the Troll, just up the hill, there is now an ecological choreography between tourists, locals, wildlife, and urban infrastructure that makes up the Seattle streetscape.
As mentioned, our deliberation process was based on the criteria of inspiration, problem solving, social impact, environmental sensitivity, and we also chose to add beauty, as we are architects. We chose Living Watershed because it went above and beyond their program requirements to give back to the surrounding community, evidenced by Watershed's positive environmental contribution. As the Young Voices panel, we prioritize the significance of the values we are elevating through the selection of this award. We believe this award embodies the next generation of design thinking in Seattle and beyond. All architecture in urban environments must contend with aging infrastructure, and everywhere we are facing the impacts of climate change. This begs the question, how can we as architects demonstrate our civic duty to design buildings and spaces that have a positive impact on the immediate and broad context like Watershed? We want to give a huge thank you to the AIA Honor Awards Committee for giving us the opportunity to review, discuss, and gush over a set of amazing projects. Huge congratulations to the Living Watershed team. Thank you.
As you can see, they took their task very seriously, so another round of applause for Alyssa, Marielle, and Nicole. So it's truly refreshing to have new perspectives and hear familiar, but also a different perspective that can inspire us all. So now we move on to the Award of Merit. And we have a definition of the Award of Merit, but I wonder if you can remind us of what that is.
Yes, rather simple. Represents an exceptional design achievement.
All right.
Perhaps we can elaborate just one moment.
Yes, okay, we were given definitions of what an award of merit is, but as we looked across the three different levels, we began to realize that with honorable mention projects, we were talking about projects that we can pull out something that is incredibly exemplary in terms of a single achievement, something that really demonstrates a way forward for a particular factor. When we get into the award of merit, what we're looking at is multiple levels of achievement, of achievement within the project. Does that satisfy?
Let's see if it qualifies.
I don't know, let's see if it qualifies.
We'll find out.
All right,
All
ready
right,
to start?
Please.
All right.
Awesome.
We'll see. So the first merit award goes to the Roost by Neiman Architects. This artist live-work micro-housing is a collection of 33 live-work studios, indoor-outdoor common spaces, and a ground floor commercial space supporting the arts and their mission of social change movements. The Roost is a model for creating affordable housing in an urban core with no public subsidies. And this project is rethinking our living environment, is providing affordable units with introducing an innovative housing typology. I have not seen this typology built many times, so it was very exciting to see that we have live work in Seattle getting built. And the spatial organization in this project is prioritizing a vertical distribution of common spaces to foster interaction among the residents.
We really appreciated that the project serves as this new prototype for microhousing and how to reconceive spaces to maximize program and residential amenities while also supporting community gathering spaces so critical with micro-housing units. And I know there was an image that flashed previously about those kind of communal areas that we found successful in this project, and that was supporting the residents that lived here.
Also, I want to add, there are many projects that we have seen where you have gone above and beyond to stay with a project, persist with a project, and this project demonstrates that as well. So this is a project that we have a team who has deeply invested in prototyping a way forward for housing, and we just found it to be exemplary.
The next award of merit goes to the Hive by Integrus Architecture. The Hive is a community responsive project that reconceives a public library, a library where you check out studios, training rooms, and meeting space, not books. The Hive represents a partnership between the Spokane Public Library and the Spokane Public Schools to create a mix of programs identified through community-centric process. The 24/7 public building offers artist studios, galleries, training rooms, and community gathering spaces. The architects introduce a vibrant community beacon along a historically underserved commercial corridor, drawing inspiration from the industrial and neighboring buildings. The jury was impressed with the architect's ability to reinvigorate the corridor while developing a new library prototype. The project represents a concerted effort to bring together similar but different functions under one roof, with the overarching goal to provide a shared, multifaceted resource for the community.
We also noted the project's site and planning challenges and the way that the team responded through a sequence of entry and program distribution, really imbuing the project with a restrained material palette to respond to the fact that this is a public project with a very limited budget, but also extending that palette through by really embracing iconography. So congratulations to the Hive.
The next award of merit goes to the Student Success District, University of Arizona, by the Miller Hall Partnerships. I can tell they're here. The project is all about transformation, connection, and habitation. The project successfully stitches together a series of existing siloed buildings into a unified district for students, prioritizing wellness and betterment through campus connectivity and accessibility. The jury was impressed with the architect's ability to negotiate and weave varying project types through careful exterior architectural incisions to ground campus users while making significant internal renovations that support student life. The architects successfully created different flexible spatial conditions accommodating various sizes and activities.
Its deliberate effort to connect, transform, and rehabilitate with consolidating resources and redefining underutilized spaces was well manifested into the design.
When we looked at this project, we understood there was a lot to unpack. Even in the initial diagrams right here, you could see that, campuses are facing these challenges where you have a series of these existing buildings, and the fact that the design team really thought critically, how could we do this through architecture without having to raise everything? And that's what was really compelling, that you see these smaller gestures that connect these spaces, and then also the heavier lifts with the renovations in the interior. Congratulations.
Okay, so we're going to give out an award for research and innovation, and this will be our first award. And I think you should know that research and innovation awards are available for both honorable mention and merit. So first one for research and innovation goes to ReHOME, Resilience plus Regeneration, Coats Design. So housing waste and waste intersect in this project that really does challenge us and the AEC community as a whole to establish new practices for demolition, for deconstruction, for material salvage, and for constructing shelter. And the jury recognized this team's fearlessness when embracing the complexity of these systems and engaging questions of degrowth, job creation, and equity. In addition, the jury acknowledged the team's participatory approach as an exemplary model of applied, action-oriented research that simultaneously creates knowledge and outcomes.
We need projects like this. This is an excellent prototype for addressing issues of housing with scale of economy and growth in mind. Congratulations.
All right, so our second Research and Innovation Award, it goes to Heartwood, Mass Timber Steel Hybrid Workforce Housing, Atelier Jones. So the jury really, in this instance, we're celebrating the process of proving concepts and prototyping to advance our knowledge of mass timber construction systems. And we also recognize that this team is working towards a healthier building culture. So using a multi-phase research program, including UW architecture students, which was great to see, the team is demonstrating IBC Tallwood 2021 Codes Type 4C construction, and doing it through the forthcoming Community Roots housing project, now under construction. So the jury also noted the team's investigation into sustainable sourcing, to understand biogenic carbon attributions, which is an essential inquiry for measuring the value of mass timber.
It's a pilot project for advancing mass timber prefabrication and on-site construction.
Congratulations.
All right, getting back to the Merit Award. Next Merit Award goes to Columbia City Abbey by Allied 8 Architects. This project is adapting a vacant church into a workforce housing. This project addresses the issue of housing crisis while mitigating waste with careful adaptation. The semi-public elevated porch is an effort to insert public spaces into private development to engage the neighborhood. And the strategic elimination of a small portion of an existing building provides for an efficient circulation and access to natural light to all units, as you can see in this image.
Is the team here? I can't tell if, yeah, are they here? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we really appreciated the way that your project participates in a much larger discussion about the embodied value of existing buildings, embodied carbon, history, and community presence. And this is an excellent example of adaptive reuse. So thank you and congratulations.
Is it me? All right. The next Merit Award goes to Ballard Food Bank by Graham Baba Architects. This community food bank and resource center is exceptional for its commitment to make design accessible to all, to improve the lives of people in all levels of society, to create something that is strong enough to resist the challenges of the project's location, but porous enough to engage the community on a human scale with outdoor activities and places to socialize. The user experience here was clearly prioritized with such a sensibility to shift perspectives and seeks to restore a sense of dignity to the lives of their community. We were so impressed.
We valued the diversity of spaces within the building envelope, from community cafes. So great, you guys get to see some of those images right here. They really transformed and created a new model for how community members can access food. And so they created this new a model for mimicking a grocery store format, which was really, really impressive. In addition to that, they had a community cafe, resources for folks to pick up their mail, in addition to the warehouse space and the staff offices themselves. And so incredibly dynamic amount of uses happening within it, but carefully done and carefully and beautifully done. In addition to that, there was definitely an attention to the landscape. We could see stormwater planters as you approach it. And this site, it's kind of hard to tell from the images here, but it sits within a really intense commercial intersection that lacks greenery. And so to have this project really extend beyond the building envelope and engage the roadway, engage the streetscape, in addition to gardens within the spaces, the private spaces itself, we found just highly successful.
Congratulations.
It was not a blue, sunny day like this. I mean, it was a rainy, cold Seattle day.
It was.
But visiting, you could see the context.
You could
right?
see the context, yeah.
And
you could see the intention.
how important that can be in the actual visit.
Yeah, is this team here? Where are they? Where are they? Yeah, we were told when you received awards, you used to jump up and like dance, or that's not happening. We're up for that. All right, I think we have one. This is the one last award of merit.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this is again another research and innovation award. It's a award of merit that goes to A Workplace That Resonates by MBBJ. No one's jumping up and down. So, so the jury commends this team for its rigorous research tackling workplace acoustics, which is a topic that's understudied, but frequently identified as a barrier to workplace collaboration. I'm sure we've all experienced this. More importantly, their approach synergizes with CLT panels and low-carbon building materials, and they're embedding these materials with resonator technology. So the team explored configurations through simulation, through prototyping, testing, demonstrating a beautifully textured surface and an appreciable reduction in noise. And we're looking forward to building scale applications soon.
We valued the project's response to ever-increasing issues related to acoustics in the workplace, and I think we all have had that, being on Zoom, in the office, being back in the office. But this project had very clear research, testing, and prototyping methodologies that was incredibly, easy for us to read and understand. And we really foresee this project getting translated into the real world and becoming reality, and really shifting the needle in terms of what materials are going to get used into the office place. And so I think this is an incredible project that plants that seed. And I will say that we only had 5 submissions under research and innovation. Yep. And so I encourage you guys all to do this work, because we could see this getting translated into real-world applications.
Yeah. We want more research. More research?
More research.
Yeah.
Congratulate all of you. Perhaps I'll stand up again. So before we get to the announcing of the year's Energy and Design Award recipient, I'd like to invite our partners at the University of Washington Integrated Design Lab on stage to contextualize this award and share metrics on how this year's built project submissions measure up. So let's welcome Chris Meek and Teresa Morosius on there.
Thank you, Ken, and good to see everybody tonight. My name is Chris Meek. I'm here with Teresa Morosius, and we're with the University of Washington Integrated Design Lab, and we're here to introduce this year's AIA Seattle Energy and Design Award. Before we do that, I would like to thank the Northwest Energy Efficiency Alliance's Better Bricks program, and especially Josh Pelham for their generous support of our lab and of this award. The Energy and Design Award is intended to transform the priorities of practitioners and building owners in 3 ways: to encourage and elevate the cultural stature of performance-based energy-efficient design, to recognize innovative and exemplary projects, and to provide a report card to the design community on our progress toward meeting the 2030 Challenge commitment. So now I'm going to turn it over to Teresa to provide some stats on this year's submissions.
Thanks to all of the design teams for submitting the AIA's Common App for Design Excellence as part of your Honor Award submissions this year. The Common App provides a shared framework and a means to collect consistent project metrics across AIA's chapters to track the profession's collective progress towards meeting shared AIA goals. This year, we received 82 built project submissions to evaluate for carbon emission reductions relative to the 2030 challenge. The challenge was started by Architecture 2030 and challenges designers and other building stakeholders to make all buildings carbon neutral by 2030. Out of the 82 projects, 12 projects met the challenge. While 12 projects met the challenge, all projects together, remarkably, had a 50% reduction in energy use from the 2030 baseline. I will now announce the projects that met the 2030 challenge. Please hold your applause until the end. The Bush School New Upper School by Mithun. Ballard Passive House by First Lamp Architects. Bridge Way Inspire Apartments by Public 47. Costa Rica Treehouse by Olson Kundig. LeBron James Innovation Center at Nike World Headquarters by Olson Kundig. Volunteer Park Amphitheater by ORA. 10210 O Street State Office Building by HOK and Dreyfus and Blackford Architecture. Edward J. Ray Hall by SRG Partnership. ESP Office by Public 47. Living Watershed by Weber Thompson. The Portland Building by DLR Group. And the Vanport Building by SRG Partnership. Please join me in congratulating these projects for meeting the 2030 challenge. And now we will pass it back to Ken and the jury to discuss their deliberations.
Thank you, Teresa and Chris. We are pleased once again to commend these qualifying build projects that have made significant strides in energy reduction while also maintaining the highest level of design. So, Billy, as the chair of the AIA Committee on the Environment, I wonder if you might have anything more you'd like to add about the AIA Seattle use of the Common App, or perhaps your overall impressions of the 12 qualifying projects?
I think we all know it's getting harder and harder to meet these goals. And it feels like often we're striving more and more to do it and looking for ways and big wins in our projects. The Common App is a tool that was developed by the Committee on the Environment to help us all measure and understand exactly what we were doing, but doing it across 10 different measures or 10 different ways of thinking about sustainability now. So the Common App really represents holistic sustainability. I want to thank you all for filling out the Common App. I know how difficult it is. So I want to thank you all for doing that, but I also want to continue to impress upon this community just how important it is for us to measure what we were doing now. But not only measure, write stories and narratives and find ways of talking about what we're doing. The measurements are one thing, but the way we tell the stories is another entirely, and both of those go hand in hand. So the Common App continues to help juries like us determine and understand your projects much more holistically. And as we worked over the weekend and previously 2 months ago, we used every bit of piece of information that you provided to understand all of the projects that were submitted. So again, on behalf of AIA COAT, if I can, thank you. On behalf of the AIA COAT Network, thank you for filling out the Common App, and thank you for determining or making a way forward for determining how measurement is so important and vital right now.
Thank you for those insights, and I think we're ready to announce the year's Energy and Design winner.
All right. Okay. So the Energy and Design Award goes to the Bush School New Upper School. Oh, we got some stand-uppers. Yeah. Yeah. I think we had a wave going on back there. That's by Mithun. I didn't get a chance to say that. But this project emerged as an exemplar for its approach to energy, yes, but more importantly for its approach to holistic sustainability. The project boasts a series of firsts. The first PHIUS Passive House certified school in the Western US, and the first salmon-safe school in the US. It also is predicted to achieve net zero energy. The jury also recognized the project's exemplary approach for creating a contextually sensitive massing that negotiates site, coupling with the ground and creating a means for connectivity and accessibility. And finally, we commend the project for really creating a diversity of student spaces, student space types, and a very small compact footprint. Congratulations, it's an incredible project and an incredible achievement. Did you have more to add?
Okay, we're going to the honor award. It's time.
So finally, the big reveal of the award of honor. And I know this was highly debated. It's a very challenging task to give this award. I wonder, before we get started on this, I wonder if you have further thoughts on this level of award and what that means in your
Yeah, I mean, I think when we approached the honor award, we had a lot of conversations again about the criteria that was shared with us, but also began to recognize that, as we hinted early on, that within this community, we're seeing just a lot of boundary spanning. And many of your projects are exemplary in that regard. These projects stood out to us and demonstrated to us a way forward for holistic design that really seeks to span many, many different dimensions and many different boundaries. And so as we approached the honor awards, we found ourselves having conversations about just the integrative nature of these projects and their capacity to really elevate discourse and design now. Anything to add? You're
We'll jump
tempted.
into it.
I can tell you're tempted.
Well, for
there,
us, it's about projects that shift the needle, right, and have an interesting story to share through their process and their impact. And so I think that the projects that have been selected tonight reflect that.
I think they do too. Yeah.
Right.
The tension is building.
Is it
Tension's building?
Should we just keep chatting?
For this highest honor.
So the first award of honor goes to the Bush School of New Upper School. So we'll break down more of the design on this project because I know Veli spoke to its sustainability. The project's located in Seattle and sets a new model for an urban educational space that not only provides needed programming, but also creates a visible beacon of stewardship and environmental performance in the external urban community to inspire change beyond the school limits. The new upper school design is a direct result of inspired school and community stakeholder engagement. The project navigates a significant grade change, as you could see in that previous slide. You can see that grade change between the lower and the upper campus spaces, and provides an accessible link between these levels to enhance inclusion and provide universal access for students and staff that once did not exist. The modest scale of the building features a wide array of indoor and outdoor connected learning areas that amplify the school's curriculum while honoring the site ecology and campus context. The building effortlessly blends into the existing campus context while elevating and setting forth new sustainability standards within and outside of the campus. And as you can tell by these images, I want to go back to school. It's like, I want to go back to high school. I want to go check this. I want to learn in this space. The glazing is incredible, and how each space is just unique, just in a unique design expression.
Congratulations again. Yeah.
All right.
Right. For our next.
Are we ready for the next honor award?
Yes.
All right. The award of honor goes to Phinney by Best Practice Architecture. Where is the team? Get up. Phinney is a remodel and micro addition to an existing farm-style house in Seattle. This project shows how a building can be adapted to new times with prioritizing quality over quantity, with doing more with less. There is a deliberate negotiation of flexibility and permanence here. We felt the commitment to the neighborhood. The holistic approach is outstanding here, all the way from preserving the existing house that you can see in the previous image, I guess, to minimizing the footprint of the new addition, to giving life to an underutilized basement, which is now a beautiful room for their family. The spatial organization and efficiency is key here. The introduction of 3 organizational boxes that you can see in the section is allowing the space to feel open, yet appointed. There are 3 organizational boxes that you can kind of see walking through the space. The first one is containing the entry space and the stairs to take you to the second floor, And the second one is consolidating the wet wall and the kitchen and the bathroom and this beautiful bath that is opening. And the third one, which is the office all the way to the end. So you feel this instant connection when you understand the inspiration, intention, and the challenges that the designers and the clients went through to make this decision. We loved it.
We did love it. Where's the team? Awesome. We had a lot of discussions about this project, we want you to know, and we believe your project asks a lot of incredibly important questions we think that this community is wrestling with in a really deep way. So this project is a study in economy and delight, but it also asks what is the environmental, cultural, and historical value of existing buildings, and when our needs change, when our own needs change, what is the process for revaluing and creating value arguments for built fabric? And what do we do when faced with a decision to demolish or expand? So in this project, we found that you demonstrate how the smallest moves within the house deliver the highest value to the house, the family that lives there, as well as the neighbors in the neighborhood.
I think there's some special moments that you all are seeing in the images, in particular the oforo, which is really is an embodiment of the owners' their request to kind of embed their own traditions into the house. And so you could tell the architects listened and translated those traditions and those desires into this addition. And so it's so playful, simple, and I just wanted to jump into this and soak and take a good soak. But also there's a moment, and then you guys can see in the images too, of the detached office unit. And so that's sunken into the ground, which was really mindfully done. You could see in this image here, mindfully done to really be aware of, they were very mindful of their context to their neighbors and not having this larger extrusion stick out and be visible to the neighbors. And so it was embedded into the ground to minimize that impact and the visual impact. And then also, again, a modest, appropriate office that could have been blown out and maximized was tastefully done to also preserve open space for the family to use. So really quite special project, and I think I just even love the approaching it from the front. There's such a clarity to the project even from the street. It's very simple and clean, but yet it packs in so much efficiency and flexibility within, and this renovation is just tastefully and beautifully done. Congratulations.
And
we're ready? Yeah, this is the last award. I know.
Don't say that.
I had to say it because it's true. The final honor award goes to Mini Mart City Park by Go See. Is this team here? Anyone here? No? Oh,
They're not.
we want to sing your praises to you. Maybe you're online. If you're online,
Maybe they're at Mini Mart.
maybe.
There's a better night over there.
Yeah, it's quite a place. So really, when we approach this project, we commend this team for creating an architecture that amplifies community and ecological agency. This project is sitting on a brownfield site that needs extensive restoration. And so it asks a number, again, a small project that asks a number of incredibly important questions. How do you inhabit small fractured parcels of polluted land? What is their value? To whom? Who does the project benefit? And how does a project like this become a community resource? And through planning, persistence, a lot of persistence, spatial legibility, clarity in planning the spaces and engagement, material craft, and ecological performance, this project really does integrate all aspects of what great architecture can and should be. So it offers the potential for people, for community to understand the complex intersection between art, life, ecology, restorative design, and community.
We felt the labor of love here. You just walk around and you feel it. Its commitment of giving back to the community was exceptional. And this project is respectful to the original architectural intent and context. And it was really interesting to feel that architecture didn't end with detailing here, but it was a continuous process of evolution. And you can see all the steps that they had to go through, and it felt like it wasn't a linear process, and they never stopped. It's a great example of beauty and sustainability considered together. And it's a protocol in a way for incremental, community-driven city development. Congratulations. I mean, we can still talk about it. We can congrat them in a minute.
Final word.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, we look forward to returning to Seattle so we can come to an event at this space. And again, this project represents a long process of discovery, of history, of engagement, of remediation. We learned, and it's subtle in this diagram, but there's a gas plume underneath the site that they're actively remediating. So you could see that red in the diagram there, the red tube that sticks out. And so it's working. And so although you may go, wow, that's a small project. Why did they pick that? It's doing so much. At first it's kind of stunning in its architectural kind of echo to the past, and that's what's clever about the project. But being able to learn that it's really activating this area that doesn't have these types of activations and community gathering spaces is quite incredible. So, cheers. Mm-hmm. Cheers to everyone who submitted. Thank you. It was an incredibly tough decision. And let's drink.
What an incredible year, really, and what an incredible group of submissions. Let's give a big round of applause to all of the award winners, as well as all of the submissions for this year. And I would really like to thank our tremendously dedicated jury, so to Kimberly, Zal, and Billy. It's really been a pleasure and hard work, of course, but really in what you've invested in our design community. And of course, we'd like to thank our Honor Awards Committee, Zoe Gluckheimer, and the rest of the AIA Seattle team and staff who have supported the program. So congratulations again to all of the awards. Thank you for joining us for another incredible celebration of design, and thank you for being such a fundamental part of AIA Seattle and our greater design community. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.